Hello, everyone. I'd like to call the panelists up on stage. So, please welcome Karim Saleh from Wixel Studio, Elie from Woopra, and Rayess from Khoury Solutions. So, before we start, I would like every panelist to introduce himself and their company. So we're going to start with Karim.
Okay, my company is Wixel Studios. We started doing gaming online and offline in Lebanon starting 2008. And we've been mainly focusing on, our focus was started with, let's say, our own production in gaming. Unfortunately, we've been having two business models. One that's focusing on gaming to clients, so advert games or branded games, and another that's our own production. That's what we're trying to do. We've had many games online. Some are familiar with, like Duma or Finish Big and Political. And for other clients, which are Nestle, Almaz.
Okay.
That's about it.
Elie?
I started Woopra in 2007 with my partner, Ghady. I guess he's here with us. So we bootstrapped for a year and a half, then we launched Woopra back in 2008. The company grew, we targeted the consumer market, the global market, and it grew, and now we have around 160,000 users. And basically what we do is web analytics and monitoring and tracking. We show what's happening on the website in real time, and we also show aggregate information about visitors in the past. We have a bunch of high-level competitors, but we're doing great right now. We're moving up market, and we're trying to target the enterprise market. And that's it.
And Ghady?
Yeah, hello. My name is Ghady Rayess. I co-founded Foo. It's a mobile app development company. We presented last year for the demo competition. It was Fumi. It's a mobile app for the Lebanese market. We won third place. Our main focus was first this application. Similar to Karim, we have this problem where we started with our own product, but then we got many requests from other companies to develop custom-made apps for them. And we thought it was a good idea to self-fund our own projects. But to give an advice, don't go down this road. It kills the entrepreneurship spirit in you. So, but now we're trying to split into two, let's say, departments in the company, services and products. Now we grew to, we're 8 people in the company, and we develop applications on all platforms, and we're happy.
Okay, great. Now, let's go back at the beginning. Can you tell us a bit more about your background, what you studied? How did you come up with the idea? How did you go from the idea to actually taking the risk, launching your business?
Well, I studied here in AUB as a computer and communication engineering. Then I pursued my master's in the States, in Carnegie Mellon. I always wanted to come back and start something here in Lebanon. I started working in MTC for 3 years. It was a good experience, but not very challenging. And I didn't get, because you know the situation with the government, and I won't go, everybody knows about the situation. So I wanted to do something more interesting, more creative. So I had a good friend, my partner. We go way back since school, university, and we talked for 1 year back and forth until we finally decided, okay, let's venture in the startup. And I quit my job, said bye to everyone, and started my own business.
Elie?
Well, the way it started, actually, I started doing websites back in 2003, and I developed like 3 websites, and I was monetizing them with Google AdSense. I was trying to find a way to see who's visiting my website right now? I tried a different analytics solutions and none of them fulfilled my needs. So in 2007, I met Judd and we met in a programming competition. And I was like, oh, this guy is a genius. I want to work with this guy. So I pitched the idea for him and we ended up doing development like the next day. And we never registered the company and we never wasted time on things like that. We just started doing development work until we launched it in 2008.
Well, it's the same thing, but the founders of Wixel used to work in Digipan, which is an institution of technology for all that's gaming, and they had their part here in Lebanon. So we used to work with them. The main thing that used to make us weep a bit was that all the products that we did were for the US, and we could never say that they were from Lebanon. Yeah. They were not our own, they were not our IP, although we used to create the games, we had the ideas. And in 2008, we said it's time for us to move into something new. We should do something in Lebanon, because you cannot see yourself with any company that's working to abroad without, you're not going to grow that much within. So starting your own company, giving chances in fields that we wish were available for us, was the way to go. It started in 2008. We directly went, we registered the company. It was so easy in just a few weeks. We had the name, the website, and everything ready, and we launched.
And none of you have a business background, actually. You're all technical people.
Hardcore technical.
I'm computer scientist, I guess. Yes, too.
Okay. And why Lebanon? Why not in the Gulf? Why did you choose to stay in Lebanon despite the political turmoil in the country, the economic situation, the instability? What made you stay here instead of?
It's not that bad, actually. I mean, it's always easier to run your business somewhere where you were born. And, with your family, it's cheaper. It's way cheaper to be surrounded with your family and taken care of. If you want to go to the Gulf, rent an apartment, or go to the US, rent an apartment and an office, and you're not very familiar with the lifestyle there, it's gonna cost you much more money. So it's way easier to start your business in your country.
Yeah, and I would like to add also, if you want to do service, also business, you need to have contacts, and usually you have contacts more in the place where you have worked or studied, so it's much easier.
It was a bit more it was different actually, because we felt the need of gaming to the Middle East and the Gulf region and the MENA region. All this region is really weak in gaming. I'm sorry to say that, but we don't have a good caliber or a good standard in gaming. All over, even in Lebanon, we are trying to push the boundaries further. We're trying to create new opportunities. That's why we wanted to start in Lebanon, especially because, we don't have anything that's, tourism is most of the time hit by war and political situations. And we should create something that goes global, not only internally. The Lebanese market is so small to create a huge market with social gaming or even technology for phones, app. It's small. You should go and hit big. I think Elie, that's what he did too. He hits big. It's not only concentrated in Lebanon.
Of course, obviously, the Lebanese market is very small, but is it easy for a Lebanese company to sell its products and services abroad in the region or elsewhere globally? I mean, is it easy to build trust with your customers?
That's a very important question. If you want to target the global market, you have to build a competitive product, a world-class product. You cannot build a simple solution that cannot compete with what's already there. So you have to spend some time to analyze the market, learn what they have, how you can make it better, because you have some weakness and you have to fulfill something elsewhere. And you have to be innovative.
Okay. Now, how about support? Some of you had to leave your jobs. Did you get the support you needed from your families, from your friends? Did you find any mentors to guide you through this? I mean, you have no business background, but you ended up setting up a company, planning things, eventually raising funds. I mean,
in my case, I'm going to say that the family has an entrepreneur spirit. So when I said that I want to go solo and quit the job and everything, I had the full support from family, friends, and everybody. They said that's the way to go. I think that's a Lebanese spirit. And most of the time you see when there's a garage there, next week another one opens next to it. That's what we know. So I guess, yes, I had full support in my case, and so were my colleagues. And we went to it really with full passion. That was really important.
Does anyone have a different story to share? Somebody tried to discourage you?
Well, actually, in our case, it was more obsessive, drive to do something creative or to do something different. The family was supportive, definitely, but we self-funded the whole the initial project with the new projects we did. We self-funded other projects, but there is a lot of obstacles. I mean, the infrastructure, the ecosystem. You need to worry about the electricity, the water, where you need to park your car, the things that you take for granted elsewhere. And these do cause some distraction and focus out of your main job.
I guess it's important to say that support from the government was unavailable. As a startup, we were talking yesterday with and we said that, as a startup, most countries, they give you like funding at the start, just like to give you a push. If not, you don't pay the same taxes. You don't pay the same things. And that was not, you just open up like any other company, a huge corporation, you just pay the same thing. Yeah. And that's...
Yeah, my story is a little bit different because, as I said, I never registered the company in Lebanon. So, of course, all the support we were able to get was from family and friends, and even university was not very supportive. Woopra was my final year project, and when I was pitching Woopra during graduation, they told me, hey, don't waste time on that, because I was asking support from the university to probably connect us with investors or some good talents who can help us, or mentors. They said, hey, don't waste time on that, we will try to find you a good job, you are a good developer. And this obviously wasn't what I wanted. So all the support I was able to get was from family and TechCrunch. The fact that I was reading TechCrunch every day, that was a major push for us. And we learned that if you can do it from the Silicon Valley, you can do it from Lebanon. Nothing can stop you. Except, in 2007 it was hard to raise money. There was no VCs around as far as I knew, and I wasn't very well connected. But I think now it's perfect to start a business in Lebanon.
Yeah, especially considering what's happening in the region. Lebanon is one of the more stable countries today.
Yeah,
but let's get back to the big question most aspiring entrepreneurs ask: how do I get funded? I mean, did you go through these stages of raising funds? Talking about the early stage funding. I mean,
I wouldn't worry about that. If you want to build a startup, you cannot raise money from day one. You have to build a prototype first. And if you want to build a prototype, keep in mind that probably you are broke. You have to find a partner who can do things that you cannot do. And at some point, when you can prove yourself, when you can prove to the investor that you can take your project to the next level is probably going to be after you asking you to put money in the company.
Okay.
That's how I see it.
And you're all self-funded, if I
Yeah,
understood
self-funded.
correctly?
As a service company, you don't need much funding because usually you get the revenue from the projects you do. But if you want to go product, you can seed fund yourself at the beginning, but at a certain point where you want to grow aggressively, you want to go globally, then you need to get investors. But you need to have a working model, you need to show the investors that this is working, there's the momentum, there's traction. But till now, we're doing fine without investment.
Okay. Like most entrepreneurs, we usually start up with a business plan. We try to plan things ahead. Did any of you write a business plan?
No.
Actually, there must be planning. There must be planning, but you don't have to write an Excel sheet business plan.
But you set goals for yourself that you want to achieve within X years.
You must have a marketing strategy. For example, Woopra. We knew when we were building Woopra that there was Google Analytics, and it's a huge company. I mean, Google. Everyone was saying, how are you planning to compete with Google? We had a strategy. We knew what makes us different from Google, and we knew that we should target bloggers at first, because bloggers are the ones who are gonna write about you, and I mean that's how it starts. You must have some plans. Test. Yeah, so I was saying that you must have some plans because you cannot just build a technology. Of course, even if you don't have a marketing, if you don't have a business background, you must have an audience trying to target.
Okay. But what I want to get to is you had an initial idea, you set goals for yourself, but did you stick to the plan? Did things change along the way? Were you able to achieve your objectives? Woopra probably, but I think Ghady and Karim have a different story to share.
Well, yeah, in the start we did have our plan of creating like our own products and monetizing them in a way. The main thing was that we are not business-minded people. We know that we want to create games, we know how to create games, we know how to create entertaining games. But the main problem was that we had the idea, we knew what we wanted to do, but I mean business plans and models and forecasts and all those things that are asked from an entrepreneur were just like alien for us. And I won't lie to you, for me they still are up to a certain extent. Okay, I'm learning up through the years. And I do advise everybody to get a look into that, because it seems that in the Arab world, that's what mainly investors are looking for. They say, give us a good business plan. And in some cases, I don't know, we might write anything, forecast anything. Of course, there are formulas and there's a way to go through it. But I mean, you can manage without it, I guess. I've heard stories outside in the US, and that's not how things go. You just have a good idea. You have, an investor can, let's say, he can sniff when things are right, and he can know when things are going good. And you don't see that here. You see there's a lack of awareness about gaming, about online apps, and there's a big risk factor that investors will not take. You know, when you talk about investors, I'm not attacking them, on the contrary, but it's just a way of looking at things. That instead of going and investing in a building, you can go and throw a lot less and invest in a small company, startup company, and make millions out of it. And that's the way that things should be. At least that's how I see things outside, not here.
Yeah. But in the end, you planned out to build the consumer products, and you ended up having to find other revenue sources.
You know, when you go solo, it's different, because we did, if you want, it's called we were not prepared to understand how to monetize our games. So we released 3 games that were a huge success, but we did not monetize them. We did not use any AdSense on them, and it was a mistake because we did not understand how things get monetized. And when we had all this success, we were like, investors came, we told them we know how to do games that are good and that attract people. He's like, all right, build me a prototype. And I say, I cannot build you a prototype. I'll do it myself if that's what you need. In other cases, you know, when you start doing your part of the job and creating games, advertising agencies become interested in what you do and try to advertise through gaming, through apps. And you get caught a bit in this, let's say, living money. Because you know, you can live a year and not get paid as an entrepreneur if you don't do services. We started doing this part of services, saying that, okay, it's a good way to keep on doing what we like, but providing some kind of service to agencies. You get caught in it. But you know, we're going with 2 business models today. One is client-based, the other is production-based. That's it.
I need to add a point, Karim. I don't think it's a mistake, it's a challenge to monetize gaming or apps, because it's not something that you can buy with cash, it's online. So you either need to get revenue through ads, where you need a lot of traffic, I mean millions hits every day, which is in the market here, it's difficult to attain. And to have online payment with the credit card system, and lack of PayPal is not available, and so it is difficult to monetize. It might be attractive, everybody might use it, but no one is willing to pay, or there's no means to pay for those apps. That's it.
I need to add something. I mean, I need to ask a question to Ghady. Why are you trying to market or to target the market in Lebanon or in the region, and you know that it's a weak consumer market where they won't pay you online?
Why do we do it?
Yeah,
why do we target?
Market the global market?
But the apps we worked on, the content is local. So we're providing local, which will give us added value on other apps. For example, with Fumi, you can see the movies showing in theaters, the times, the location. If you want, other apps would show you movies in the States. So this is our added value, but we still have the last mile, the monetization, which is a bit difficult. Yeah.
So I'm going to add one more thing, just to say that not monetizing our games was a mistake, if you want, in a way that we didn't have revenue. But we did have a huge marketing success to our company. That helped us a lot. And we proved that within doing advert games or games to our company, we advertised it. And that was kind of a prototype to advertising agencies, but not to investors who wanted to create production games.
Let's talk a bit about talent. First of all, about your co-founders. Do you have any co-founders? I mean, how do you pick your co-founders? If I have to start a business today, should I do it on my own? Should I try to partner with someone? What do I look for in a co-founder? I mean,
that's a very important question. As I mentioned, when you're trying to start a startup, you don't have resources, you cannot hire people or talented people, you just need to find someone to start this venture with you. And that person must complement you. He shouldn't think the same way you think, he should think the total opposite, so that you can both learn from each other. And of course, there's something very important here, which is an entrepreneur must be a talented person. He cannot be just a person with an idea and trying to find people to implement his idea. I always say that in a country where we have a lot of talents, entrepreneurship will follow. This is not mentioned a lot, especially here at ArabNet. Everyone wants to become an entrepreneur. What's missing is a talent component. And I think that can be fixed by doing more action-oriented events, by doing school events at schools and universities. That's where you can discover talents, and entrepreneurship will follow.
Okay. Any stories to share? How is life with your co-founders?
Let's say we met up we were all working in an art department where our 3 co-founders was with Wixel. And things went that I'm a computer scientist, Ziad is an architect in base, and he works as a technical artist in Digipan, and Ran was the lead of the art department. So we saw that we had we were looking forward, we had the same vision, and we complemented each other. So we went on and we tried doing a game just before we created the company, and it worked, and we knew how to do it from A to Z. We didn't need anything else, although I've been working in the art department for like 2 years. And up till now, we complement each other, and it's normal, you have those arguments about the game, how it's going to be, and you have this idea, and the other has that idea. But it's all for the better. It's critique that's building up, that's making things good. And you should always, you should not depend on yourself when creating. It depends on the media that you're doing eventually. But in games, I mean, you cannot be the artist and the programmer and the engineer and the producer at the same time. You should share it because you will never finish.
Okay.
Yeah. And actually, I agree with Elie and Karim, my partner. We complement each other, and it was obvious for me. I know Elie, my partner, since kindergarten, school together, university together, and we've always been friends. And to some extent, they used to call us the married couple. So, yeah. Why you need to be complementary is because you can focus on your own thing, and you can find someone else to fill the gap in things that you're not expert in. In our case, it worked pretty well. He was more the artistic with the design, and I was more the hardcore, developer. So it turned out to be good.
And how about human resources? Finding employees, finding talent to hire in the country? Do you need to train people a lot? I mean, finding people that design games, I'm not sure you can.
Well,
it's
the good thing is the background was good. So Ziad and Ran are teachers at universities. They've done all that you need to create really good artists and developers that are currently working from Japan to the US. We know how to train a team, we've done it, we have the experience, and they're currently continuing this experience and giving it up in the universities that they're given. So that gives us, of course, an edge in gaming. We do give our experience out with those things. Although, producing a game is totally something different, and once you get somebody, an artist, you have to really train him in this mentality. It's totally different. Same thing for development. But, we do lack and we do not lack, because what we do lack is just the training phase. What we do not lack is motivated people who want to work in games. There are many people who, we've got like, I think over 120 CVs just stacked up of people who just want to work in gaming. I mean, that's a wake-up call, I guess, because all the people want to do that, not all, but, just a big bunch of Lebanese want to get into gaming. Even we got from Jordan and Syria people, even from Germany we got a few talented artists. I mean, we focused on our region mainly, but it wasn't too hard, but it wasn't that easy. Okay, you can manage, I guess.
Elie,
I think hiring talents in Lebanon is very hard for different reasons. first of all, it's hard to find talents who would be interested to work in a startup. They're more interested to work in established enterprises, and for the safety reason. And the other reasons are that we don't have this entrepreneurial culture and ecosystem, and probably they don't know that they're gonna get options, or eventually if the company makes it, they're gonna become millionaires. So that's hard. And of course, the lack of talents, I'm not saying that we don't have talents in Lebanon. Of course we do have talents, but Lebanon is not known as the country of talents, developers, talents.
You know, I'd like to add something to that. He's completely right about what he said, but there is something in working in such companies, and innovative companies, that makes us different. Because I think that's the edge that we have in taking people in, employees, that really need to differentiate between being in a big company and being stable. Security is very important, as he said. But the example that I want to give is, for example, you have a guy who's a graphic designer and he works in a company, and in an advertising company, and you tell him what do you do, he's like, I'm a designer in an advertising company. And okay, you go, okay, that's fine. And when you go to a designer who works in a gaming company, and you ask him, what do you do? He's like, I design games. I'm a graphic designer for a gaming company. That's not very cliche in Lebanon, and this gives you an edge, like just a bit of ego for him.
Prestige.
Yeah, and it does work. It does have its effect. It's not massive. It's not maybe as important as security, but let's say training-wise, experience-wise, it's big. It's not that easy.
And are you able to compete with the big boys on salaries? I mean,
Yeah.
if you have a developer, he has a job at Google, how do you convince him to come and work for you instead? How do you sell him the dream? How do you motivate him? What incentives can you give? Because you can't compete on salary, obviously.
Well, when it comes to hiring, actually we're finding competition not from direct competitors, but from consulting companies, actually. Because if you have like good, talented people, smart people, they can be good in programming, and they're good in general. When they graduate and they send their CVs, they get really more attractive offers from consulting companies. And really, we had many cases where, okay, I like what you do, I'm interested, but at the same time I have 3 times your salary in, I don't know, somewhere else. So the thing is, you really need to find the people who are really interested in what you do, and they're passionate to work for you, because these are the people that would, be loyal to your company. Because if you just hire someone who's interested with the package, he would work for 2-3 years, and he might get an offer from Microsoft, Facebook, and he would just turn his back and leave. So what we focus is we give him the flexibility in working hours, and giving his own ideas, and to make him feel part of the team. And we always offer shares in the company if he stays for more than 4 or 5 years. So, and you have to have an interesting projects to work on, so that he'll be, motivated.
Okay. Can you please remind everyone how old your company is, and if you reach sustainability today, how long did it take to become sustainable and self-sufficient?
We founded the company in 2009 in March. For 1 year, we were just working on Fumi. We self-funded ourselves, and after actually last year at ArabNet, we started doing service projects, and since then we're self-funded and we're sustainable. That's me. Excuse me.
So I'm gonna go on and continue. We started in 2008, and it took us 2 years to get to starting to grow correctly. Let's say the first 2 years were trying to get in contact with clients, trying to produce our own games. We are self-funded, so it wasn't easy. There's a lot of sacrifices that you have to do as an entrepreneur, and we did understand that. Our surrounding did understand that. Fortunately, and I'm serious about that, ArabNet was a big push for us. And we went down, we exposed our company, what we do, and people were, interested in having a gaming company in the region. We got contacted by a lot of people. That gave us sustainability. It's been a year up to now, and it's been doing very good.
Great.
So what we need now is an entrepreneur or an investor, actually.
Okay.
And
so all of you today, if I understand correctly, are at a stage where you need to grow your company. You need I guess, additional funding. How do you plan to do this? What are the options that are open to you?
Yeah, actually, I didn't mention the growth of Woopra and what we have done so far. So we started in 2007. We launched in 2008. In 2009, late 2009, early 2010, we launched our packages, commercial packages, to start making money. And this year, we're doubling the revenue we made last year. So we're doing pretty well in terms of with the consumer market. So now our strategy is to move up market, to start targeting the enterprise market, because we learned from others like Omniture, Core Metrics. They all started with the consumer market. They learned that the billions of dollars are not in the consumer market. If you really want to make $1 billion company, you have to go into the enterprise, target the enterprise market. So that's our plan for now. We're probably in a way to raise money to reach that target.
Okay. How about you? You were telling me you plan to build a big in-house game, and you need funding for this. I mean, are you struggling to raise funds? You were telling us you have difficulty convincing investors to invest in an idea, although you have a big background behind you, you have experience.
We're looking, when you arrive to such a stage where you have a clienting system that's going on, and it's based on a certain revenue from which the whole company is living on. But that's not our utmost goal. That's not where the real money is. Like Elie, I think it's the same system, just different. Going with agencies and working, it's good. It's a good business model, but it's not a huge business model. What we want is, like he's saying, $1 billion companies. We're looking that big. And if you need to do that, you need to think big. Don't think Lebanon, don't think MENA, think global. We're looking to do a game, let's say, for iPhone, and we need funding for that, because we cannot stop just our operations in clienting system and say 6 months, we're going to pay employees, we're going to not work, not get paid, and pay all the bills. It's a lot to handle when our team grows. We are a team of 6 people, and we do work a lot, but I mean, it's not, you cannot do it on your own now. That's why you need investment. And you need seed investment or anything. You just need a push forward. And even if it's a tiny amount, you always find the difficulty in, getting people to, investors to accept just the idea here. When you go abroad, and I think Ran, when she went to the US, she was proposed, she got proposed by, to get major investments from companies. We wanted to try to make it here in Lebanon. If it's not going to work, I guess we're going to go abroad. But I mean, it's.
Are you guys happy today with the decision you took? I mean, do you regret going the entrepreneurial?
No regret.
Entrepreneurial road?
It was hard at first, of course, but no regret at all. Now we're paying it. It's paying off. I mean.
This is a one-way street. You cannot go back.
I think so, because you get addicted to all those, it has freedom, it has an addiction in maybe working overloads and thinking a lot. And at the starting stages, you keep on thinking, is it right? Should I go back? It's still early, I can manage again. But after the first year and second year, when you see that you are capable of doing something that hasn't been done or that is really unique, that's where you say, that's it, that's what I'm going to be doing, and we should go till the end.
And if you had to start over, would you do things differently or elsewhere? Is there any advice you would give to any potential entrepreneur in this room?
Yeah, of course. I mean, when we started, we didn't have any connections. There was no events such as Arabnet or Startup Weekend, and we had to do everything on our own. We had to look for mentors. What I'm trying to say now to entrepreneurs is that you have whatever you need to get started. I mean, look at this event. We have investors, we have mentors, we have Desiree a bit ago mentioned like 20 organizations in Lebanon trying to help entrepreneurs. So I don't know why would anyone not be an entrepreneur.
So since you started, you've seen a lot of change on the market, a community building up, organizations helping people being created. You've seen change, other than the government.
No, government is going back.
Great.
Well, just to answer, the region, I would give advice to new entrepreneurs, and trying to get as much information from people who are entrepreneurs also, who walk this path. I know some guys are like, let me learn from my mistakes. Go ahead and try to see what happens if you talk to the guy, if you listen a bit to how they think. When you get to the first year, you're not that concerned about doing money and getting the company that big, but you start thinking correctly, I'm saying correctly, although you start thinking in the right way, getting new ideas into the company, thinking about monetizing as first, thinking about the mechanics of how your work should be. And first year is always slow. It's always, you're really looking at the details of your application. Second year, you start looking a bit abroad. After, you start looking at the competition on how you can get investors in. So, I'm going to add on to Elie that things have really changed. 2008, we didn't see anything, although we had a big media campaign talking about us. 2009 was, elections and everything, nothing in Lebanon. 2010 was really the big difference. It's starting to show right now. You get lots of contacts from investors and people abroad and here. But definitely no, we wouldn't change the location.
Well, my advice would be you just go and do it. Stop talking about it. Once you start, once you build the model, and then the investors will come to you. It's easy now just with Facebook and all those channels to market your idea. It's not hard to get the money you need to continue. But you need to start, because the more you procrastinate, then someone else will beat you to the idea and do it. So do it.
I think we're going to start to take a few questions from the...
Hi, are you guys ready to cash in now, or it's too early?
To exit?
Yep.
Too early.
I think it's very early now to cash in. To exit, to sell the company. We have big growth, and we're still experimenting new stuff. But if we get an offer from a bigger company that would acquire us and help us grow the business better, that would be a good option.
Well, we had several offers, but we still feel that we're in the growth stage, and we want to wait a couple of years before we consider exiting.
Have you been lobbied already?
Offered?
Yeah. Have been lobbied for an offer or something?
Yeah, we heard about a few offers. We talked with some people, but nothing interesting for us. I mean, besides selling the company, you have to find out what are you gonna do post selling the company.
Exactly.
And most of them, they're gonna ask you to work for like 2 or 3 or 5 years. I don't know. These are what matter, not just the offers you get in terms of cash.
But most of you are at a stage where your company is growing, and you're attracting more customer, and you have a need for VCs. I can see all of you guys have need for some funds. And to get the fund, it's the next big step. Yeah. So you have two options. You sell or get somebody on board.
That's not really the case, no. I mean, if we want to move up market, yes, we will need to raise money to target the enterprise market. And of course, we can still do it without raising money, but it will make it much easier by raising money. Woopra, for instance, is cash flow positive. We are making good cash right now, and we're still trying to find out how we're going to spend this cash. So we're not really looking to raise funding to sustain the company. We probably need to raise money to move up market or to iterate with the business model.
Elie, but the question to you, because you are moving up to enterprise, and the enterprise, that means that you have to sign SLA with those companies to come to you. Yes. Signing SLA require presence, could be in different market, different place, open presence in different location. This is a big step. That's a lot of money. Are you guys willing to do this?
Well, that used to be like this 10 years ago, but now we know that enterprises are using services from small companies. It's not always the case that you have to spend like $50,000 to generate an enterprise sale. No, it's not always the case. It's not always the case. You can partner with sales agencies. You can you can probably find someone who has some credibility in the field of web analytics and have him join your team, get some stocks in your company, and try to convince he must be consulting in some companies and try to sell them. There are many ways to sell the enterprise market without raising money. And the more that you sell to the enterprise market, the more you will be putting cash in your company, because one enterprise client is worth probably 100,000 consumer clients. So that's an option. That's the bottleneck. You may be able to raise money and sell to the enterprise easily, or try harder and sell to the enterprise, and that will solve the money problem.
Just one more question, sorry, to Ghady. You guys are more focused on the consumer market, basically. So, again, you talk about monetizing your products. Is the environment in the region here easy to be able to collect your money, whether the payments, how are you collecting money, whether our mobile operator assisting you to collect the money? Are you building different business model for this? Because it's very challenging.
It's very challenging and difficult. For example, we started developing on Nokia because it had the majority of the market share. So the problem that we faced is that credit cards are not widely used. If you want to have your own billing, like SMS billing, you cannot put it on OV and then put it for free and then have your own billing, because they're not getting cut of the share. So they promised to have operator billing, but it's moving very slow, and so this is why actually we shifted more into services. A client wants a certain app, we have the requirements, we do the app and we deliver. But we still have a section for services, but the monetization is the biggest challenge. And we're considering to host on app stores, maybe iPhone or BlackBerry, but BlackBerry is still also missing in the region. The store is not available. So it's a challenge. Now the easiest way is through SMS, but with the SMS you have to integrate with every operator or with aggregators where they have already 50% revenue sharing, and then you have with them, so you get 10% of the whole revenue.
So basically, I think really, when we talk about Naharnet next year, we should talk more about mobile financial services and how this will make your life a lot easier than.
Definitely, we should have operators and aggregators here, and how we can build a payment system which is a win-win situation for everyone.
Good luck.
Hey, my name is David. I think like it seems that even though people like you are in Lebanon, there seems to be a lot of activity around the world, especially in Silicon Valley. My question to you is, how do you interface with this, the other region, and what kind of effort do you do to stay in touch, and even with investors and potential acquirers and that kind of stuff? Thanks.
I don't understand the question.
Could you go again, please?
I can repeat the question. So, like, it seems to me that it's a good idea to stay in touch with Silicon Valley. Okay, so if for example, Woopra, you guys have an analytics product, and maybe a lot of these large companies could have bases there. In addition, a lot of the people who would want to be interested in acquiring you are there. Right?
Well, that's one of the downsides of operating from Lebanon. And that's why I've been mentioning to friends now that it's time to probably move out. We started the company in Lebanon. We put a lot of hard work on it here, which was the perfect decision, I guess. But at some point, if your market is the Silicon Valley, you probably need to move to the Silicon Valley. The Middle East and Lebanon in general is a very weak market for Woopra. We probably have 1 or 2 clients here, while we have thousands of them in the United States. So we're highly considering now moving to the United States and talk with investors and raise smart money rather than just money. And yeah, I think that answers your question.
What's so perfect to have an entrepreneurship or to open your own business in Lebanon while you have all this political carnival every 2-3 weeks, no local infrastructure, and on the other hand you see startups in UAE and cities like Dubai growing faster and coming to acquire companies in Lebanon?
The only downside in Lebanon is probably the internet connection, which is probably going to be solved soon. I don't see anything related to the government that would affect your startup. You just need to be committed to your startup and deliver the best you can. I don't think any country in the world, no government in the world would invest or try to help a startup. Just forget about that and focus on your own thing. Whether you are here or in Dubai, there's no difference.
Well, there might be a difference where the ecosystem is more prepared.
Sorry for interrupting you. If you are trying to target the global market, there is no difference. But if you are trying to target the market in the region market here, you may be better off in Dubai because all the big enterprises are in Dubai, obviously, not in Beirut.
Nothing prevents you from splitting your business, having development work being done in Lebanon while the commercial side, opening a commercial office in the Gulf, for instance. And have you thought about this?
Yeah, but this is also cost-wise. It is costly. I mean, when you have one headquarters, everybody is there. The expenses is controlled and limited. And actually, in our business, it is a bit easy to work remotely, and you can just travel and participate in events and make deals there. So currently, we're fine in Lebanon, but there's a problem of the internet and the infrastructure. Once this is solved, then it's a good place to start a business.
From a cost point of view, is it cheaper to open here than in the Gulf, or?
Cheaper?
Yes?
Yeah, definitely.
Salaries, rent.
Regardless, I think it's always cheaper to start your business in your own country because you know where to get your support from.
I mean, as easy as starting your office from your room and getting up to actual office. It's the best thing.
Great. Do we have a last question?
Since you have innovative products, how can you protect these products from copying and from piracy, especially in Lebanon where the justice is not really protecting the rights?
I challenge any one of you here to start building Woopra, and I don't mind seeing competition in the region. I wouldn't waste time on doing patents. Even in the US, if you want to do a patent, and even if Google wants to clone your product, they can do it. They can put you in, they can take you to the court and spend millions of dollars on trying to protect your intellectual property and end up broke. So I wouldn't waste time on that. Just try to be innovative and ahead of the competition.
Actually, if the competitor can do a better job than you, then he deserves to get all the credits. So the idea is always to stay ahead and always to be innovative.
Same thing.
Great. So same thing. But did you have, because you provide a service, Elie, while Karim and Ghady create the applications that they eventually sell. I mean, did you have any piracy problems with in Lebanon with the applications, the games that you produced?
We had hacking, piracy. Well, yeah, some sites did like forward our URL of games and put them in their site. We just asked nicely to remove it without or else. So, and they just removed it.
I'll share an experience. We had an application for the World Cup. It was called FUCUP. It was voted the best Symbian app, and on Ovi it was voted the third app for the World Cup. We had about 150,000 downloads, but not from Ovi. Actually, we had it for $2. Then we put it for free because people were downloading the app, and then they took the app and hosted them on different websites and with ads. So you can search FUCUP and you get like 100 hits with different sites. So, so yeah, piracy is an issue, and it's one of the barriers that we have to overcome also.
Okay. So I think we're going to close this session now. If you have any other questions, you can talk to the panelists or myself right after.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And we'll see you next year.
Okay, just an announcement. Wixel is taking a group photo. You know, it's in 5 minutes actually at 2:45, and it goes to the Red Cross. All the money that they're offering goes to the Red Cross. So please, if you can join the group photo.